Hi guys, today in my new group Ray mentioned that my motor, my gear motor, is in the opposite side of the pivot. So if you see here, this is the pivot and the motor is in this side. Well, I did that on purpose because if you see a human shape, and let's pull that out. As you can see, if I put the motor on this side, there's no enough space and it comes out of the shape of the body. But if I put the motor on this side and the pivot on this side, the pivot doesn't show here. I can put the tendon right in here and it will keep the same shape as a human body. The human body has more muscles on this side and in the back. So I want to maintain the shape of the human body. I want to make this thing as realistic as possible, and I don't want to cut corners where parts just come out of it. So I am going to design a piece for that, and let's go ahead and design a new part for it. So the first thing I need to do is create a hole of the size of the PVC pipe that I'm working with. So I'm going to take a measurement, and I'm working in inches, guys. I am not working in centimeters. I apologize for those people that are in Europe and work in centimeters and millimeters. You will have to do the conversion yourself. So now I do have a measurement of 1.32 for the PVC pipe, and I want to make sure that it's a little bigger. So I'm gonna make this a little bigger. So 1.32 divided by 2 is 0.66. So I'm going to make this 0.66, and I'm going to add 1 to make sure that slides nicely. The height of this new part, let's see, I can try to make this an inch and a quarter. 1.25. Alright, so now this piece represents my hole on the part that I'm going to make just now. I'm going to Control C to copy, Control V to paste. So now that there's two objects in here. By clicking on the object, I am selecting the last one that I just created. So there's one on the bottom that is not being picked. If I pick the face of this object, I can make it bigger without affecting the one in the bottom. So now I'm going to create the thickness of the part, and that looks like plenty of material to support that new piece. So now I have the part. I could take this out, and this is exactly what I need, but I need this piece to hold another piece. Before I go ahead and delete this, I'm going to create that other part. The new part that I have to create is basically a triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and select a triangle, And now I don't know how this usually works on triangles. I never used triangles before. So radius, I believe the radius, well, this is gonna be trial and error. I know the triangle that I need. Let me measure. It's 1.5. That's too big. So it should be half of that. So 0.75. And we made this part 1.25. .75. Alrighty, so this is exactly the part that I need. I'm going to put it here. Now I want to join these two pieces together, so I'm going to go ahead and create a little bit more material. All right, now 8. Hold on, I don't think. I need to make sure that that line is out from there. So I'm going to, there you go. That's perfect. Now the screw that pull this part up and down is located in the middle of here. So I'm going to create a hole. And that hole should be, let's see what size. It's 0.55. So 0.25, 0.26, 0.27, 0.275. Let me make sure that's not the right number, actually. 0.55. It's 0.275. Yep, that's perfectly. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. 0.28. I'm making this part bigger so I can go through the whole piece. There you go. There we go. For some reason I am not getting the radius of this part correctly. My part seems to be a little bigger than this. So I'm going to make it a little bigger. There you go. All right. So now I need to attach this to this. And I would like to cut off some of that material. Alright, so this is more or less what the part should look like. There's also 3 screws that attach 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do those holes manually because I don't really know the position and I don't understand the shape of triangles yet. If anybody knows what's the radius of a triangle, does it go from here or does it go from the corners to the center? Comment below so I can learn as well. Alright, this is the part that I need. More or less. I'm going to reduce this part to accept the new part that is going to be attaching to that. And the part is 0.19 minus 0.19. There you go. All right, perfect. So this is the hole I need. This is the attachment, this is the slider, this is the hole. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this and that and put them together so it creates one shape. Now if I remove this, I'll be removing it from the circle and from the triangle at the same time. Subtract this part from these 2 pieces. And there it goes. That is the part that I need to create. Alright, going to save this part to my computer, to the foot, or to the knee. Let's save it on the foot. Let's call it slider for now. Save. Now that it's saved, we have it on our computer saved. I need to export it to the printer as STL. So export to STL and a slider. Save. Now I need to close this program. Whenever you save the program first and then export, the computer thinks that something changed. So when you close, it's going to tell you that it needs to resave. You can go ahead and save again. I usually say don't save because I know that the part is fine. So now that part is going to actually, what it's going to do is slide back and forth in here. And the center of that screw is going to go back and forth. So it's going to be sliding it back and forth. Now I completely forgot that we need to attach a rod from here to the new part that I created. So we just have to go back. Alright, so we have that hole for the screw, which is going to pull this whole part up and down. we have the hole that's going to slide the whole piece, but we don't have something that's going to hold the rod in here. So let's do that. Let's create a square. That square should be the same size as the bottom piece that I have that is holding the pivot. So let me take a measurement. 0.85. Tap 0.85, tap 0.85. Attach this to this circle, move it to the center, and now pull it out. All right, that's fine. Okay, perfect. That's what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and unite this. Now my piston that is supposed to be pulling that ankle, we're gonna make it 0.32. So I'm going to create 0.32. And all I need to do is actually go in here. And remove that section. Alrighty. Now this is a little sharp, so I'm going to create a little radius in here. And I'm going to make a hole there. And that hole should be, let me check, 0.12, 0.625. Let's make this piece bigger so it goes through, and move it. I'm going to take it out a little bit so it doesn't interfere with that wall. I think it's gonna do it anyway. Either way, I'm going to continue taking it out a little bit more. That should be good. All right, so let me remove this minus this, and I have the hole. Perfect. So again, this hole is going to slide the PVC back up and down. This is going to hold the screw that's going to pull it up and down, and this is going to hold the tendon for the ankle, pivot the ankle certain amount of degrees. This is the part that I need to print. So again, go ahead and save to my computer, File, Export STL, press OK, slider, replace, yes, and let's go ahead and print. Alright, perfect guys. I'll get back to you as soon as I print this part. Alright, let's print this part. I'm using Cura. It might not be the latest, but I already have this version set up with all my printers. I'm using my Monoprice 3P, which is also a one-half version. Open the file, slider, and that is the part. I'm also thinking that I'm gonna have to disassemble the whole bottom of the leg to put this part in. So there might be a way to actually put screws on the sides and split this part into two pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually not print this part. I'm gonna just add another piece. I mean split this into two, so I don't have to disassemble the whole leg. So let's go back to our other program. Alright, this is the part that I need so I can put screws through here. I'm gonna copy, paste, and I'm gonna put a second part on this side. I'm going to join all these pieces together, and I'm going to split it here. Now there is a option that I can split objects. I have never used it. Split no. Alright, if anybody finds out how to use that tool, let me know. What I usually do is this. I take the part, copy, paste. Let me see. Did I do it? Okay, there's two. So I have two pieces, and what I do is I take the first part, and I cover half of it completely. You can see that, right? Alright. Then I take this same object and I copy, paste. I go ahead and attach this part to this part so I can complete the whole piece. I move one of the squares a certain amount of that I know, so I'm gonna say 4, so I can put it back for exactly 4. So now if I take this, remove this from this, there's one part that you can see it right here, that's half of it. The other one is still full. So what I'm going to do is take this and now move it exactly minus 4 and go ahead and split it. Now I have 2 pieces. You see that? Now I can actually make little holes here, so I can put the screws. Right now, to me, that's not important. So I'm gonna go ahead and file, save to my computer, save a copy to export STL, and save it as slider A. Press undo, delete the other part, export STL, slider B, save, file, open, slider B, file, open file, slider A, and I got my parts. That looks good. Alright, I'm going to print this as a draft because I need to make sure that it works before I print it fine. So I'm going to select 0.03 with 20% infill. I will not need support. I will probably need support only here, and that's not important, so I'm going to remove it. There's plenty of mass in the bottom, so I don't need adhesion. Now, the part is going to be strong, even though it's only 20% infill, because which is to make the wall thick. Usually here is 0.04, 0.08. It's like very thin. So if you increase this to 1.1, 1.6, as long as the wall is thicker, it makes the part really strong. Everything is fine. Slide. It tells me that it's going to take 2 hours. I'm going to save this as the slider. Remove to the printer. Eject the card. And don't save. And let's go ahead and print. I will talk to you in a few minutes. So I started printing this part and I stopped it just after a few minutes, just to see if this triangle was good enough and if the hole was good enough. It looks good. It looks good, except that this wall right here has to be a little thicker. This has to be a little bit out. So it's about 0.08. So I increased these walls to those 3 walls to 0.08. Now I have also make this into a circle so my screws will fit this way. The distance from that edge to the center of this hole has to be 0.28. So I made a little square 0.28 and placed it here. I made a cylinder 0.20 by 2 inches. I place the second one. Same distance. And place the third. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete those holes. And as I'm here right now, I'm gonna go ahead and make these holes as also. So 0.11, so it should be 0.20, 0.10, 0.20 thickness. I'm gonna make two, gonna make them larger so I can move them to make sure that it passes both parts. I'm gonna copy and paste. Now I have only 4 pieces. I'm gonna copy those so I can have another 4. So there's 4 now. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this 4 pieces out of this part first, and then I'm going to take these 4 pieces and delete it from this part. There you go. This is the holes, and that's the part. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and reprint it. Everything looks okay. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes with a printed part.